Welcome to the OVFL podcast. I'm Nate Bahar again here. I'm joined today for the first time on our On the Radar segment, Brandon Robbins. He's a receiver from Kingston. He played Grenz, played for Holy Cross in Kingston. He's on the radar today because he's grown as a receiver. He's turned into a player. And we're going to talk to him today about his goals, what's gotten him here, what's going to push him to the next level, and what separates him. So, Brandon, lucky to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, Brandon, what grade are you in?
Grade 11.
You're in grade 11. So he's in grade 11 at Holy Cross. You guys are just turning over semesters now, right?
Yeah. Just
all right.
had a turnaround day today.
Yeah, that's how you turn around today. Okay. So how's this offseason going for you? What are you doing in the gym?
Doing great. I'm in there 5 days a week and practicing and working out with all my other teammates. And just trying to get stronger, working on strengthening a lot right now.
Okay.
Doing more of the footwork and stuff on the weekends. And when it gets a lot warmer, it's a lot easier to do that kind of stuff. So right now, just kind of focusing on getting stronger and doing a lot of weight training.
All right, good man. So to give me a little bit of your football past, whether it's the last couple of years or where you came from, where you are now.
Yeah, so I hadn't played coming into high school. Grade 9 was my first year, and I just thought I'd give it a shot. And they put me at corner. I played a little bit of everything in grade 9. I played a little bit of fullback, even safety. Just kind of trying to figure out where I fit best on the team. And I ended up getting a starting position a couple games into the season, and then grade 10 they switched me over to tight end. Did a lot of work in the summer to kind of change my position and play a little bit of wide out and tight end that year. And then the season after in OVFL with Grenz helped me a lot with my receiver skills and taught me a lot. Became a lot better receiver and played the season with Grenz and came back in grade 11. Played wide receiver again, and first couple games I had to kind of fight my way for a starting position, and then about third or fourth week I got a starting position, and it was a great season for me.
That's good to hear. So those are the kind of guys, you're the type of guy we want on this program. Because hey, you're on the radar now because we want to make sure that you're hopefully getting the chance to get a little name for yourself. So you said OVFL season wasn't the greatest for you statistically or anything like that, but it was more of a learning curve, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I needed a season being my first season in that kind of league to really learn about the system and kind of what's going on there, and kind of build myself up as a better receiver before I started getting a lot more game time. And I really think that season over the summer helped a lot with my high school season. I think now, after having that experience and my high school season and all the work that's being put in over the off season, I think I'm going to be a lot more effective player next year. Okay, so talk to me about that. What are you doing this off season to make it so this summer coming up when you get put back that Grenz jersey, and it's going to be your first year in varsity, if I'm not mistaken. What are you doing this off season? Yeah, that's correct. That's
going to make you better?
Just working on my hands, basically. It's trying to, catch balls every day, do little things that are helping with my hand-eye coordination and my catching, because that's really what I'm trying to rely on. I haven't always been the fastest guy, so, I'm trying to work on we're doing a lot on jumping and, trying to increase my speed, because I know even though I'm not going to be the fastest guy out there, it's going to be a huge part of my game if I can get a little faster. So working on speed and, trying to get a little more muscle on to try and be, a bit heavier, bigger target. And, just basically working on my hands, trying to keep them, trying to be a lot better at catching the football.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Here in Canada, those big receivers with sure hands, they can make their mark. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Andy Fantuz, but he was never known for being the fastest guy of all time, but he's probably one of the best receivers to ever come out of Canada, so it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving forward then, we know what you're doing this offseason. What are your goals, whether it's for this summer, your first year of varsity, or high school, or even further than that in the next couple of years? What do you got planned for yourself? What are you striving for?
So this season, for Grenz, I'm really trying to work up to a starting spot, even if it may be the last 2 games of the year. Even if I can't get a starting spot, just get a lot of play time and a lot of experience out on the field. So maybe the season after I can kind of lock in that starting spot. And over the high school season, I'm really looking to try and be a leader and lead our team to an OFSA title and cap the championship is my main goal for next year. So try and be more of a captain and a leader next year. Try and bring our team to a championship.
All right. What about after high school? You got any CIS dreams, OUA dreams, or?
Yeah, my dream is to play in the CIS, somewhere in Canada, play football at the next level. That all depends on, of course, grades and how how my future seasons go and how high school goes and everything. But I'm just putting in all the work I can to make sure that dream comes to reality.
Good man. How's your rapport with your quarterback? I think we're having him on the show in just a little bit, but how's that going?
For Holy Cross or for?
Yeah, in high school. Who you're training with this off season?
Well, right now we're trying to get our quarterback in who doesn't usually play in OVFL.
Okay.
So he plays high school with us, and I think he's had a couple years experience, but he didn't play last year. So he's been in the weight room with us, training with us, and we also have another kid, Drew Freak, coming up from grade 10 going into grade 11. He's going to be the veteran on the junior varsity team this year, and I played with him in grade 10 and over the past summer with friends, and he's a great quarterback, and I think he's got a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to play with him next high school season. I mean, I think he has the potential to be a starter next year as well, and really excited to work with him again. But I mean, for this season, just trying to get our quarterback more experience from last year after a tough loss in the semis last year. Trying to get him to his top performance, and that's just doing a lot of stuff in the weight room with him.
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right. So then what is the intangible? What is the thing that you think might separate you, whether it's a physical characteristic, a mental characteristics? What do you got in your bag of tricks that you think makes you a pretty valuable asset to the Grens and your high school team?
I think the biggest thing was just when that ball's up in the air, I mean, I'm going to do everything I can to come down with it. I mean, the determination to try and come down with that catch. I mean, if I see it up in the air, I really don't want to touch on the ground kind of thing. I think my hands and my catching is what's going to separate me from a lot of receivers. Like I said, I've never been the fastest guy or, the best route runner or anything, but I really think my hands my catching is going to separate me from the rest of the receivers.
Okay, well, you say that then. Let me ask a question. It's kind of a tough one. Who do you think your pro play-alike is, your pro look-alike? Who do you model your game after?
I'd probably have to say Calvin Johnson. I mean, that guy just, like I said, the exact same thing. That ball's in the air. He's not letting anyone else come down with it but himself, and I really look at that as a role model.
I like that answer. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Megatron. So I mean, you get to that point where you're jumping up for all those balls and you're bringing them down. That's a good thing to have. Brendan, thank you so much for being our our first guy that we've had on the radar here with the OVFL podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, not a problem at all, man. I'm gonna keep checking in with you through the off season. Make sure you're doing all right. Make sure you're staying the course. And I look to see your name popping up on those leaderboards in the stat column come this summer.
All right.
Have a good final semester, my man. And take it easy. Thanks so much for joining us.